Alright, hey guys, my name is Caitlin Schillinglaw and I'm going to be telling you today about how you can create responsible digital citizens and the importance of being a good digital citizen in today's time and age, and why it's important that we teach kids how to be good digital citizens. So, to begin, we will talk about what it means to be a responsible digital citizen. And so, according to teachthought.com, a digital citizen is defined as the quality of habits, actions, and consumption patterns that impact the ecology of digital content and communities. So, everyone should be taught at a young age how to be a responsible digital citizen. And in order to do this, you should create a list of do's instead of a list of don'ts. So, you don't want to teach kids that they shouldn't do this, they shouldn't do that, they can't do this, they can't do that. But instead, you want to be more on the positive side and you want to teach them what they should do and what's best for them to do instead of scolding them for doing something wrong. You should just teach them how to do it the right way. And over to the right, we have this really cool picture that shows all the different aspects of digital citizenship. So you can see in this light blue color right here, it's the digital identity, which is pretty much just how you present yourself as a digital citizen online. And then beside it in this yellow color, we have your digital rights, which includes what you are free to say, your privacy, and anything that belongs to you on the internet, and you don't want people to plagiarize and steal that from you. Then we have in the green digital literacy, which is how you think and how creative you are and how you can use all this technology to your benefit. That also goes along with the rights of you owning that property. We have digital communication in the orange, which is how you collaborate, communicate, and what you leave behind with a group or by yourself, or anything that you can post to the internet for someone else to see. And then in the brighter orange, we have digital emotional intelligence. So these are this kind of goes hand in hand with like cyberbullying. If you have really good digital emotional intelligence, then that's good. But then obviously bad is what we're trying to stray away from, the cyberbullying. And then we have this really bright pink, digital security, which includes how you protect your passwords and all of your information. And then in the lighter pink, we have digital safety, which is more in relation to when you're talking to people that you've met online. You don't want to give out too much personal information, or you really don't want to give out personal information at all. And then, pretty important for kids, we have digital use in the dark blue color. And that's monitoring how much time that they are on the internet, because that has been linked to decreased behavior and things like that. So that's something to be aware of. So, what does being a digital citizen entail? Being a digital citizen is protecting your private information, and these are all things we just covered. Respecting yourself and respecting others. This is very important to teach children at the young age that they are, because if not, they all have access to the internet or some form of social media, one way or the other, whether it comes from a parent or a friend or anything like that. So they're going to be exposed to these platforms. So it's important that at an earlier age than they are being exposed, we teach them how to be polite to others, because we want others to be polite to us. And that basic golden rule. So it's also important that you stay safe online, and this is when you're communicating with people that you've met online. You don't want to give out personal information, because we live in a world today that's just not safe, and we have all kinds of things to be worried about in that category. And then we want to teach our kids to stand up to cyberbullying, because kids are sometimes they can sometimes be mean and they don't really understand what they're doing or how bad they're hurting someone else's feelings. And hiding behind the internet is a really good and easy place for kids to do that, because they don't have to physically be standing in front of the person that they're bullying. So it requires less courage to bully online. So that's where you find a lot more of that bullying, because it doesn't require a lot of the courage. And then to be a good digital citizen, we have to teach our kids how to balance their time on the internet, because too much screen time is not good for their health, and not enough screen time could leave them behind, and they could be falling behind on what they should know and how they should be able to present themselves as a digital citizen. So, how is being a digital citizen relevant to society and culture? A lot of what we're going to talk about here has to do with ethics. So, to be a good functional citizen, you need to be able to make good ethical decisions that protect the people of the community, including ourselves. So, in this, we're going to talk a little bit about community. And so, when you're talking about community, you have to think about how you should engage with the rest of the community on the internet. This is important to society because it helps us to understand that we all make up the society and we are all one. And so, to live in a good one, we need to know how to respect ourselves, but more importantly, we need to respect others, because it creates a feeling of safety in our community, which is what we're aiming for. So, if we all work together and we teach our kids that we are part of the community, and if we are out on the internet bullying people or something like that, then we're not creating a safe place for everyone, and the internet needs to be a safe and knowledgeable place for everyone. So in order to do that, we have to be very cautious of others' feelings while we're online. So then the second one we're going to talk about is identity. And this is important because it makes students think about what they would want to be available to a complete stranger if their name was searched. And so putting this in that perspective can help kids understand why you can't put your personal information, like your address or your telephone number or your social security number, out online, because people can search your name and find anything that comes up with you. So this just makes you understand how careful you have to be when communicating with people online. So then when it comes to privacy, you have to be very specific and detailed when you make a password so that you make sure no one can break into your account and steal that information from you. You also need to be careful with who you share your passwords with, because no matter how much you think you might can trust somebody, people will always surprise you, and you will not be happy with the outcome if you trust everyone in this world. So then when it comes to ownership, this is a lot to do with plagiarism. So when you're using a source that somebody else has spent their time and hard work writing, you have to be able to give the credit where it's due. So if you use something that someone has already published to the internet, you need to just cite it to give them their credit. And there's tons of websites online that can help you cite things correctly, and it can really even do it for you. So all you have to do is, when you're using something that someone else has already created, you just need to cite it, because if it was something that belonged to you, you would want that credit to be given back to you. And then last but not least, we're going to talk about trustworthiness. So you need to double check all the information that you get off the internet to make sure that the source you're using is reliable, so that you know you're getting truthful information. This is because you need to be able to distinguish between the fake news and the real news in the world. And this is important to society because the people of the society can be misinformed and act on these false accusations. So why is digital citizenship important to education? In education, it's important to teach because jobs are starting to revolve around technology. And in order for kids to be fluent in digital language and programs and stuff like that, you need to expose them to it while they're younger, so it's not foreign to them when they're jumping into the workforce and having to have these skills. It closes a gap between students because some students at home don't have the same opportunities that some students do because of economic situations or things like that. And so if we provide the technologies in school, then it allows students to be on an even playing field, and they can all develop these skills at the same time. How does digital citizenship fit into the ISTE standards for teachers and students? So for teachers, this is included in the third standard, and it's where teachers can make assignments to help students understand something. Teachers need to be able to establish a learning community in the classroom. Teachers should be able to mentor the students, and teachers should be a model for the students. And so to do this, you really want the teachers to make a positive, socially responsible community in the classroom, that the students can show empathetic behavior online to help build the community of the digital citizens. And then you want them to be able to do activities in class and things like that that can help them improve their digital literacy skills along with teaching them how to be a digital citizen. And then for the students, this is considered in the second standard. So students need to be able to take responsibility for their digital citizenship. With all of the things we've talked about, they need to learn all of those and implement them in their daily lives. They need to show what they learn about digital citizenship. They need to respect their rights and others, and they need to manage their personal data. So how does digital citizen work into the changing role of the teacher? So teachers have to stay up to date continuously, and they are always learning new things because then they have to give that same information back to the students. So technology is constantly evolving, and the teachers have to stay up to date with that. And this is so that the children of all ages can be competent in digital literacy. And so you need to start teaching this to children while they're young, since they're now all raised with technology. And so you have to go with what is evolving in our world. So how can digital citizenship affect student learning? Learning, you can decrease cyberbullying to make schools feel safer for the students. You can provide a source of endless information if it's used correctly, and that's what we're aiming to teach them. And you can help them better to prepare for their students for you can help better prepare the students for their future careers. How can digital citizenship be used in science? In science, it's very important to make ethical decisions and give credit for the sources that are being used. It revolves heavily on pre-existing research and facts, and you cannot claim things as their own if they really are not. So it's important that you understand that you can't steal ideas and facts, and you have to cite it when you use it. It's not difficult. There's so many things out there that can help you. And in the science world, to make these advancements in science, you have to come up with ideas from your own, but they always stem from ideas that are pre-existing. And so when you're doing this, you just have to make sure that you give the credit where it's due. And so these are all reasons why it's so important to teach children to be good digital citizens and to do it at such an early age so that they can work on developing these skills throughout their years while they're in school. And it's so important for the teachers to teach them to them because not every student gets the opportunity to learn this at home. And so here are the references that were used in this presentation, and thank you very much.